So in this short video I want to talk about a very common mistake that my students and my clients make over and over and over again when developing their thematic frameworks. And this mistake is to make this thematic framework sound, and this is important, sound too complex and too complicated. I'm not talking about the number of themes, so this is what I said, why I didn't say they make their thematic frameworks too complex. I said sound too complex. Because the number of themes, of course, will differ. It will depend on your study. So you may have 10 themes, or you may have 65, as I have, for example, in the data I'm working on at the moment. So this is not a problem. This will depend on the complexity of your study and what you want to find, of course. But the problem is to make it sound too complex by simply by the wording of your themes or your codes. And what exactly happens is that often I see frameworks that contain a number of extremely confusing terms. They sound very sophisticated. They sound like something out of academic articles, of course. But it's usually, but the problem is when it's packed with these weird sounding themes. Of course, sometimes you cannot really avoid that. And also, I do realize that if you are a specialist in a given field and you're developing a study that you're going to share with other specialists in that field, and you're going to publish in this journal that is specifically aimed at these specialists, of course you will have some common language and some things that you will that maybe a lay person won't understand, but you will understand it, and other academics in the field will understand it. But again, this is not what I'm talking about. I mean the frameworks that are literally packed with these highly sophisticated terms, and even if the study is relatively straightforward and simple. So imagine a study of group work, or some some kind of educational, maybe a teaching approach, or the way you organize students in your class. In your study, you just want to know what your students, what your participants think about group work. So whether they enjoy it or maybe they don't like it, and why. So of course in this case your framework will most likely be relatively straightforward. It will reflect the aim of your study and your research questions. So I imagine it could have themes such as benefits of group work, challenges of group work, and yes, maybe some emergent finding that is more complex than that. So of course you can probably manage to do something about identity if that's what your participants talk about. I myself like to find these slightly more maybe less evident and obvious things in my data, because identity and self-perceptions and self-esteem is what I enjoy reading about and researching. But of course the main aim will still be on the main aim of the study. So in this case, on advantages and disadvantages of group work, as opposed to a whole lot of themes such as power balance, power struggle, power relationships, resilience, face saving, and all other things in one theme, in one thematic framework. So this is where when the problem appears. And as I said in the previous video that I recorded, I'll link to that video. One of the things I advise about thematic frameworks is that if you give it to somebody, they should be able to know more or less what your study is about and what you found in your study. And if you give this kind of an overly complex thematic framework to somebody, they simply won't understand what's happening. And this happens to me over and over again. As I said, I work as a research consultant. I help sometimes students and quite often companies that are conducting some kind of a study, and so the nature of my work differs. Sometimes I'm asked to just analyze the data, sometimes I join a given study in between, and this happens a lot. So basically somebody would come to me and said, listen, we have this study and we get stuck with our data. Can you have a look and see what's happening? And quite often when I open that framework that somebody has started to develop, instantly I'm not surprised at all that you get stuck, because you just confused yourself with your framework. This is quite often a problem. I'm looking at that framework and I have absolutely no clue what you're doing, what you're looking for, or what you found, specifically because of that number of these highly confusing terms that I mentioned. Sometimes it's better, usually it's better to keep it simple. If you have to use, as I said, specialistic language that is the only or the best way to describe a given phenomenon, of course you have to use it, but otherwise always go for the simple and clear. So yeah, so that's it. That's what I wanted to advise you. If you have any questions, feel free to post these questions in the comment section. And if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. I talk mainly about data analysis, data collection, and sometimes I do interviews with interesting people, academics and researchers. So that's all for today.